Good afternoon, everyone. This is Yvette de Luna with Let's Talk Advocacy. This is a space created by NAWBO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, the Houston chapter. And it was created to, bring you the latest in advocacy and all the things that might have an impact, good or bad, on businesses owned by women. And I started this particular space through the Houston chapter almost 2 years ago, and today, this particular episode is going to be my last one as a host because my duties as an advocacy chair for the Houston chapter are coming to an end after 2 years. That's the term that we are asked to serve, and I have, and now I get to pass the baton. And we have an amazing new board of directors that is going to be announced very soon to all of you. So, having said that, I just want to go ahead and give you the latest updates on advocacy for regulations and laws that can have an impact or might have an impact on businesses owned by women, by anyone, but particularly by women. The first item on the agenda is that and when I say we, I mean NAWBO National in Washington, they are still working on the definition of what a micro business is. And this is very relevant. It might sound like, oh, wow, another thing to do and fill space, but it is actually not. For example, in Texas, 91% of the businesses owned by women, 91% of the businesses owned by women have no payroll. So that means that our businesses are based on working with independent contractors, or we do something else. We manage some other way. But that also means that our access to capital it's limited. And crafting a definition for micro business is very relevant to businesses owned by women in Texas, for example. So I encourage you to write to NAWBO National, to reach out to them if you have suggestions and ideas, and there are things that you want to make sure that go into that definition, because that's the only way to efficiently advocate for our businesses. If we tell each other what we need, if we tell each other about the struggles that we're having and the limitations and also the wins, we don't want to argue our limitations. We just want to make sure that the playing field is leveled, because remember that when these game rules were created, we were not part of the game. And now we pretty much are, and we have been doing, catch up since we joined the game. When I say we, I mean women, since we joined the workforce and the workplace and the entrepreneurship space. But there's still so much to do, right? So please, I encourage you to reach out to NAWBO National and let them know of your particular needs. And of course, if you have employees, more so than anything else, because we want to make sure that you are covered and represented. And if you work with independent contractors, that as well is very important to know, so that we can ask Congress to craft a definition that is adjust to what's really happening with businesses owned by women, and that gives us access to capital. So, so that now the second thing that I wanted to remind you of, if you have more than 15 employees, remember that the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, the EEOC issued the final ruling recently in April, and the regulations go in effect June 8th. So you have, and there's, the regulations, I think I mentioned, have like 400 pages. Oh, I didn't mention it because we didn't have an April live stream. So the regulations have like 400 pages. That means there's a lot of reading to do, but also means that there are a lot of new documentation that needs to be done. There are new procedures, new things. There's a new relationship that needs to be established and documented for what the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act protects. So just make sure that you have everything in place by that date, and make sure that you have the new documents and the new processes. And uh, if you have doubts about this, you can write to me well, I can give you my advocacy at NAWBO.org. Now, advocacy at NAWBOHouston.org. That's my email. And if you write to me before June 15th, I can certainly help you with any questions that you might have. That's advocacy at NAWBOHouston.org. That was the update. And today we have a very special guest. I am very thrilled to have with us Sandra Fernandez, whom is part of our board of directors. Hi, Sandra, and
Hi.
is the producer for this marvelous Let's Talk Advocacy stream, which was very simple and humble until she came on board, and she, produced it all up and makes it so beautiful. How are you doing today, Sandra?
I'm doing great. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me on your final show. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it.
I know. 2 years, it means 2 years went by. So, Sandra, can you tell us a little bit about what you do, what your business is all about?
Well, certainly. And again, my name is Sandra Fernandez, and my business is called Story Zone Media, and we're a public relations agency. We're a small
Oh,
agency that is located in the greater Houston area. And we work with small businesses, nonprofits, arts organizations, museums, and other companies and businesses that what we do is we help them connect with their potential customers, with new customers, and turn existing customers into lifelong fans through storytelling. And what that means is we help them navigate the know, like, trust journey from people getting to know them, to liking them, to trusting them enough to do business with them.
I love that because it's more like building a relationship, right? With a particular goal in mind, but it's building a relationship. It's not trying to push a product down your throat. So you're like a connector. It's what your business is doing, type of
Well,
thing.
what we are, we handle mostly marketing communications. So,
Okay.
the thing that we do different than most places is that we'll sit down with our customers, our clients, and figure out what the sales funnel looks like for them. And a lot of nonprofits think that they don't have a sales funnel, and a lot of arts organizations think that they don't have a sales funnel. The truth is, everybody has a sales funnel. Your sales funnel just might be something different. Your sell might be converting someone to a volunteer, or to a donor, or to, or to a client, or to whatever. So from beginning to end, at what points in that, from when they find out who you are to when they take that call to action, that you're hoping to get everybody to do, what points in there are you communicating with them, and where can we help them do better? And doing better might mean at the beginning where people are just becoming aware of who they are. And that can be social media, getting them in the news, helping them do collaborations with other people. It might be in the middle where they're just learning about them, but they need to hear more, where we help them tell better stories about their impact and their history and their mission and what they're trying to do, or the product that they sell or the service that they sell and how it solves a particular problem for their customers or their community. Or it might be at the end where someone has already interacted with them, have already purchased with them, and you're just trying to reinforce and provide a little bit delight. Okay, listen, it isn't just that you bought from us. You are now part of our family. You're now part of our community. You're a valued customer forever, kind of thing. And what does a different thing? So do they need help with social media? Do they need better newsletters? Do they need better customer stories? Videos? Do they need a podcast? Do they need like what we do here? Do they need a Facebook Live or a live cast of some sort? What is it that they need to help customers on that know, like, trust journey to become lifelong fans?
I love it. I love it, Sandra. I was listening to a webinar yesterday about sales, and this person was saying, you're even if you are, what you have out there is a free something, a free PDF that you're trying to get your people, your audience to download and get. You're actually selling that, even if it's zero money involved. And that gave an interesting, that broadened my view of selling. And building that type of sale on a relationship is so much easier. What are common mistakes that we women business owners do the most in this area?
So first, before I address that, let me take a step back and say I'm a small business owner. I'm absolutely a small business owner. I don't have a large team. So I understand a lot better than many about where most, especially women business owners, are coming from. And one of the things I'm going to tell you, because I do this, and I do this myself, and so I am going to tell you that one of the biggest things that women business owners don't do is they don't promote enough. They don't go out and they don't network, and they don't do self-promotion enough. Oh, well, I have a great product or I have a great service. If people are happy with it, they'll tell other people. They don't put enough effort into the sales function of it. Oh, I don't want to brag, or I don't want to be pushy, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money to go out and do this. I've got enough customers right now. Yeah, no. You always have to be building that funnel. You always have to be building that waiting of new customers. You always have to be building the awareness with people so that you've got new prospects coming in case your big customer goes away, in case sales start to slump, in case of whatever in case of, you should always be building new prospects. And again, new prospects, it sounds very salesy, and I'm sorry about that. New prospects, if I were, so you said something about like 99% of or how many percent of women?
91%
of women-owned businesses have no payroll. Okay, so let's say that I am
in Texas.
I'm a nursing coach, and I am coaching other nurses on how to do home care services for the elderly. Okay, and so it's just me. I'm the only person, and so I'm really not going out and building my brand or anything like that. It's all word of mouth. It might be effective now, but it's a short-term thing. You really need to be thinking about stabilizing, and you need to be thinking about your processes, and you need to be thinking about promotion. Absolutely. And I say this as somebody that do as I say, not as I do, because I am my own worst client when it comes to this. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, common mistake number one, I've done all that.
Yes.
So thank you for reminding me and everyone else that we need to promote our businesses. Sometimes I
And so
forget to even
that's
mention. Yeah,
so that's two
sometimes
things.
I'm asked to introduce myself, and I even forget to say, "Oh, the name of my business," and I represent Be Human Leadership. Amazing. So thank you so much for that reminder. And let's say that's common mistake number one. We
Yes.
forget to network. What's another common mistake that you've seen uh, as an expert in this field?
Oh, common mistake number two is repetition. Success is when you do something that is a win that can then be repeatable.
Okay.
So when it comes to branding, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to sales, when it comes to all of this, repetition, repetition, repetition. I would rather my clients go out and have okay, okay messaging, but be doing it on an ongoing basis, be consistent about it, talking to their customers, getting the message out. Then they have one single video that's extraordinary, and then nothing else. Crickets, crickets, crickets. Um,
Mhm.
being repeatable, being consistent. That is absolutely, if nothing else, consistency is now, great consistency would be better, but consistency is one of the things that you really, really want to start thinking about.
Okay.
Um, to remind everybody that when I talk about brand, a brand is just your reputation. A brand
Yes.
is a brand is your promise to your customers. It's not your logo. It's not the shiny, glittery, oh look, new bells and whistles. No. A brand is the thing that when people think of you, what do they think about you? And if the response is not what you really actually are, then you need to start thinking about how you're reinforcing that, what you're saying, and how you're communicating.
They need to be in alignment. You
Yes.
cannot have this first impression because a brand, it's not only that first impression, right?
No.
It goes beyond that. So if
So
the first
cur-
impression crumbles,
yes.
there's
Currently, research is showing that you need somebody needs to have about 11 touch points. You need to have touch them or communicate with them about 11 times before you actually stay in their mind, before they start to recognize who and what you are. So first impression, second impression, third impression, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, and then they might remember who and what you are.
yes, and yeah, that's true. If I can think of the brands that I have in mind from today, and it's only one, and I've seen Mm, you know, a lot of emails today. But
Yeah.
by this time, I've seen a lot,
Yes.
and there's only one that is first and foremost. And so we have a network and the consistency in the messaging, right?
Yes.
And can you think of a third common
Yes.
mistake?
So be personal. Absolutely. It's
Mm.
small business. No like trust. People will do business with people that they like. For the most part, they're not going to like. It's not the business they like. It's the customer service they get. It's the people they interact with. It's the actual product that they receive. But getting to know the people behind the scenes, especially for a small business, what makes you different? Who are you and what makes you different? So me, I go on and I was like, I always knew that I was going to end up a business owner. I just kept putting it off. My father was a small business owner, and one of some of my earliest memories is helping him sort through receipts when it was tax time, or helping him run pay when I was old enough and he would have me run payroll for his employees. And it, you know, it was before computers, so we had those printed tax guides that would I would go through, and he's like, this guy has 4 dependents and made this much and is biweekly, and it'd run through, and we'd figure out how much they were, you know, how much they were being paid, and we'd put all that together, and they would go to his bookkeeper. And so I always knew that I was going to be a business owner. I just kept putting it off and putting it off.
When did you decide that it was time?
Oh, I didn't actually decide that it was time. I quit my job in what is probably the only impulsive thing I've done in my entire life, with no job waiting for me. And so I had this really great job that wasn't a fit for me. I was happy. I was doing good work. But it became clear that I didn't want to be there like for another 2 years, kind of thing. And so I basically on a Thursday went in and said, I'm, you know, going to come and bring you my printed thing tomorrow, but I'm letting you know I'm going to give you my 2 weeks notice tomorrow. And again, it was just the most impulsive thing. So I really thought, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, because I was in a good position to do that. And I'm going to start looking for a job. And then I just told everybody that I was between jobs. And then people would come to me and go, oh, well, do you have time to do this project for me? And then, oh, well, do you have time to do this project for me? And I looked up, it was 4 months later, and I was running a business without having made the decision to do it. And so I thought, okay, so it's time for me to get real. And I went and I filed for a DBA and opened all, you know, my stuff, and it just got more serious about it. And then about a year later, I joined forces with a colleague, and we opened what was my first agency. And that one, we parted ways a couple of years ago, and I started this one.
Wow. Amazing story. Congratulations on that. I love that story.
From the personal perspective, you know, usually I will tell people that it's like, I started out, I'm in PR, and I'm one of those weird people that I chose PR when I was in high school. I went and I studied it and never changed my major. And I went out and I went to work in it. I am not a former journalist, although I have a journalism degree. I'm not somebody who came into PR from, you know, fundraising or something else. I have always just been this. Now, I've worked in all sorts of different industries. I worked in government, and I've done nonprofit, and I've worked in agency, and I've worked with multi-million-dollar huge companies to help them with their promotion. And I've worked with shoestring nonprofits, and I give every single one the same amount of attention and enthusiasm because they're all my clients.
I love it. I love it so much.
But now you know something about me. And so that's the personal.
Yes. That's the personal, and authenticity, I imagine, is part of that, being personable, because if you are, you know, if you are not authentic, then that's, at least I place myself in the shoes of a consumer. And when I detect that car salesmanship type of energy, I just decide right away, no, it's a no-go.
Yeah. And so it's also going to depend on the consumers and the industry. So I have the luxury of my personality works really, really well with the type of consumer that I work with. And so I can be very, very honest and very transparent. And it's helpful that I have a great enthusiasm for the work that I do. But for the most part, if you are very, very introvert business owner, you don't want to be the face of your business. You need to find somebody else to do it. It's absolutely acceptable. Not everybody has to be on, you know, the face on social media. You do still have to show that there are people involved in your business. So that might be other customers, it might be something, but yeah, you have to show the personal. to a degree. Now, what personal means is going to be different for everybody. Personal might mean this is the process through which we make our award-winning chocolate, and look, and this is why you should come buy from us instead of the other 100 chocolate places that you could go within, a 10-minute drive. Or this is, we have a food truck and we use my grandma's recipes, and my grandma taught me to do X, Y, and Z. And here is the thing, and showing them, well, they might go out and try it, but they're not going to go out and do it. It's just going to show them why your food is the most authentic. It's the best, and they need to come buy from you.
I know. And I want to go now get chocolate and come over. Sandra, and what has been one of the greatest challenges that you overcame and you're super proud of as a business owner?
Actually was the biggest challenge that we've had to overcome, because it was the complete unexpected, the meteor dropping in the middle of our business. We had, every single client we had either canceled their contract or completely slashed it down. We had to lay people off. We kept them on as long as possible. We were so happy that we had all of our paperwork in place for when some of the government programs came through to help us keep our doors open longer, that we had all of our stuff in place, because if not, we wouldn't have been able to take advantage of some of that stuff. The fact that we had all our books were up to date, and we had cash flow to help us keep some of our employees in place for longer than we might not have been able to, and other stuff like that. It really, really brought home how making sure that you've got contingencies in place, and that you are running your business as a business and dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's, that's absolutely essential. And as a business owner, and especially as a small business owner, it is really, really easy to let things slide. Oh, I'll finish my bookkeeping next month. Or, we'll do X, Y, and Z when we've got time. No, there are some things that just need to get done. And the fact that everything was up to date was very helpful. But that was a really, really hard, about 18 months between 2020 and the end of 2021 was very, very lean for us.
That pandemic was has still giving us all stuff to talk about. And Sandra, about the wins, what has been one of your biggest wins and that you're proud of?
One of my biggest wins is the fact that I have been able to do great work for some of my clients, that I'm able to choose clients that are better fit for the type of work that I do and where our strengths are. And that when we get proposals or we're putting proposals in, we can see that some types of projects would not benefit from our expertise.
And you have no issues because you're so aligned. What I'm sensing is that you have no issues in saying no. Respectfully and gracefully declining the work, right?
That was a hard thing to learn. When you start out, you want to take every job. You want to take all the money. It's what do they call it? It's a scarcity mindset. You want to take all the work because you're not sure if you're going to get another offer later. And then you make yourself miserable doing that. And so in the end, if I want to be miserable, I'll work for other people and not just for myself. Right now, I'm a little bit... I'm in the position where I can be a little bit more discerning when I take projects on.
Yes, and that happened because, of course, you were consistent with your networking, you were consistent with your messaging, and you were personable. So I love that, the advice that you have given. And for those women that are launching a business these days, Any advice?
Yes. Oh, so start with a strategy. Write down a couple of things. Write down um, what your expertise is, how you are better than other people, what your client looks like, and how you're going to be communicating with them. So basically, a one-page business plan. Write that down, and if it's nothing else, go through and help and get that to help you with your branding, with your messaging. And as you do that, just be consistent, learn from your mistakes, pivot, and keep moving forward.
Love. I know I said it a lot. I love it. I love it. But I love a lot of the things that you do. Most of
Thank you.
you know, in terms of this context and for NAWBO. And then another advice we would give is join an organization like NAWBO. Pardon the plug, but it's really a place where you will find support and you will find, sisterhood in the sense of, oh, I've gone through this, try this, do not try this other thing because it'll take a long time. So if you're looking for that type of mm, support and community, then NAWBO is a great place to start. And we are starting a whole new mm, chapter in the sense of there's a new board of directors coming in. You will still be, because in addition to your business, you do serve the board of directors of NAWBO, right, Sandra?
Yes.
So,
So
and you will
I'm
continue to
the
with
marketing
the
chair.
new board. Yeah. And so that's a great invitation for our viewers to just go ahead and check NAWBO out. The Houston chapter has a lot of things. We have monthly gatherings and we have a strong community backing each other. So yes, that would be also one of the advices I would join in with you in giving.
Yes.
And it's about time to say goodbye.
It
That's
is.
why I am all.
Goodbye, Yvette. I know I'm going to see you again, but we're not
No,
going to
no,
have these advocacy lives with you
yes.
anymore.
No, 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 no. But it has been a pleasure and it has been a joy. I've learned so much in this 2 years with NAWBO and through this particular project, the Let's Talk Advocacy live stream. So many wonderful guests and so many lessons. And I appreciate the opportunity. And I thank you for your service and for being here with us today and sharing so much about you and your business. Where can they find you? I mean, this is very important part of marketing, I would
So
say.
I will. Thank you. That's a very important question. I will drop in the comments links to my social media channels where people can find me. But I'm at storyzonemedia.com. And me personally on like Instagram and other places, I'm at Sandra Says, SandraSays.
Excellent, excellent, Sandra. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for supporting this space so far and continue, with the advocacy work and continue opening the path for the women that are coming behind us and, setting up shop. Thank you so much and have a great, great year.